why cryptocurrency is so crucial. And we're at a major turning point in history where we're headed towards decentralization across every major industry, which I talked about. And the first place that is being overthrown is the financial industry. And people might have their arguments against cryptos and Bitcoin and Ethereum, saying that there is no way that Bitcoin could be the next gold 2.0 for whatever reason. And really any statement against cryptocurrency has no real grounds. And the value of any currency, like if we look at like any currency, gold, US dollar, cryptocurrency, it simply lies within the trust of its people. And as we live in a 100% digital era, millennials, Gen Z, and up and coming generations are way more inclined to trust a digital currency compared to a useless piece of gold or the constantly devaluing US dollar. So if you look at areas like the US dollar, gold, and other scarce physical assets, you can see that cryptocurrency beats them in practically every single category. And you can search this up on your own. Like the categories, there's a bunch of categories that make a currency valuable. And it's like transparency, security, divisibility, scarcity, ability to be transacted, and there's a few others. But if we go deeper at some of these and like counteract the naysayers, like it's so easy to understand and just see that cryptocurrency is just going to absolutely take over. So say we look at like transparency, like the transparency category of currencies. Let's compare the transparency of gold, US dollar, and cryptocurrency. So if you search on Google the current market cap, which is the current total value of gold, you'll see that says approximately like 11 trillion right now at prices. That was like 9 trillion. Like I swear that was 9 trillion like a year ago, but probably because of inflation, everything went up crazy. But you will find that there's also a category, and if you dig deeper on websites, you can see that there's a category of like a 20% fluctuation of inaccuracy for the total market cap of gold. And this is probably due to the fact that there's a ton of undocumented storages of gold in remote parts of the world, and just no extremely accurate way to find the total value of gold that's 100% across the entire world, because there's no way it can all be documented. So transparency, is that like transparent enough for you for a medium of currency? I'll let you decide. But if we look at or like even like a store of value. So if we look at the US dollar, you can see we're currently sitting at about 27 trillion in total circulation. Very large jump from the previous years if you look at that. And at any point, that amount can increase because there's an infinite supply of fiat currency. And then if we look at the top cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, there's this fixed supply of 21 million Bitcoin ever being minted. That's it. It's 21 million ever being minted. So if you think about it, if people are flooding into the major cryptocurrencies, there isn't an infinite supply like fiat currency. And so it's literally set up that as more people come into the industry and buy into crypto itself, the value increases for everybody else that's a part of it. So let's look at another category. Like let's look at security, for example. So gold, if you have a small amount, it's not that hard to keep secure. You could probably keep it in your house, but like then somebody could rob you. If you have larger amounts, like if you're gonna hold a lot of your wealth in gold or silver or any other precious metals, it might get cumbersome to hold that in your house, and might get a little scary to hold that in your house. So you might have to get like a big safety deposit box or something like that. And so that could get very annoying very fast. And then the US dollar, if we look at the US dollar, it's fairly safe, but considering that anyone can like steal your credit card information or your ACH details and remove money from your account in a second is always a possibility. I actually just thought of a story with the topic of security with the US dollar. We just opened up our bank accounts last year here in Puerto Rico. And when you open up your bank accounts in Puerto Rico, apparently you have to tell them that you want ACH protection. Basically means that anybody who has your routing account number or bank information won't be able to pull out money of your account without directly approval from a banker. And so I didn't know this because in Canada, it's an automatic that happens. And I wasn't thinking about that. And 6 months into having our bank account, we had $6,000 pulled from our bank account randomly. It was a CarMax payment. And I was like, whoa, we don't even have a CarMax account. And I messaged our bank 2 days after the transaction happened. And I said, how'd this payment happen? Like I talked to my employees, I talked to my accountant, and nobody made or approved this transaction at all. How did this transaction go through? And the banker told me that this was an ACH payment, which was pulled with just my routing and account number and our business name. And I'm like, how is that even possible? I give out my routing and account number and business name to so many different people because that's how people make payments to me. And they said, oh yeah, you didn't set up the ACH security, so we're gonna have to put an investigation in. And so I put an investigation in because nobody made this payment. And then 3 months later, because they said the time frame was 3 months to get a response, 3 months later, they gave me the response that they can't recover the funds of the $6,000 because I put in the request to return that ACH transaction 48 hours after the transaction. And they said the period to put in a claim against a fraudulent ACH transaction is 24 hours. And so since I was 24 hours off, they basically wiped their hands and they were like, sorry, we can't do anything about this fraudulent $6,000 transaction. So I called up the business themselves and I've been nonstop handling it. And this has taken hours of my time, like just to deal with the $6,000 random fraudulent transaction that went through. Another thing about how the banking system absolutely sucks, and another thing about how cryptocurrency is going to absolutely win, because the only way somebody could take money out of your cryptocurrency wallet, well, there's lots of ways, but we'll get way more into this. But if you're educated in the cryptocurrency space and you hold your money in a cold storage wallet, the only way that people could take money out of it is if they had your secret recovery phrase. And that's the only thing that you need to keep protected. And so we'll get a lot into that. But cryptocurrency in general can be very, very insecure if you don't understand how to use it properly or don't understand like the differences between crypto exchanges and crypto wallets and cold storage wallets. And so if you know how to store it properly and you know what information to share and what information to keep to yourself, then it's by far the most secure currency and storage of value, 100%.